Hello and welcome back to Counting the Omer 5786. Let's get started and say the blessing for Counting of the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us concerning the counting of the Omer. Hayom 12 yom shehem shavua echad v'chamisha yamim la'omer. Today is day 12, which is 1 week and 5 days of the Omer. Taharenu hod shebigvura goyim. Purify us, the splendor within strength among the nations. We are in the second week of the counting of the Omer, which corresponds to Gevurah, this the top red sefirot here. And this is the 5th day of the week, which corresponds to Hod, the red sefirot that's right below it, which is splendor. Let's say a quick blessing for Torah study before we dig a little bit deeper into what this means. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, O Lord, our God, sovereign of the universe, who makes us holy through mitzvot, and who commanded us to get busy with words of Torah. Discipline with humility brings splendor. Hod in Gevurah comes to remind us that discipline without humility is unhinged force. When we correct others or even ourselves, are we taking the time to ask if we have the details correct? Are we acting out of ignorance and arrogance? Are we imagining a hierarchy of the good that doesn't really exist? Hod takes a moment to listen before acting. Hod doesn't lord power over others, but brings brilliance to the situation by using power with as a framework. The leader who has Hod in Gevurah is respected because they respect others first. What do we mean when we say tahor? The word tahor is usually translated into English as pure, and it's presented in popular discourse as being good, as opposed to tameh, which is impure. In reality, these two concepts are not about good and bad, but about situational fitness. Usually these terms are used in regards to fitness for service in the Holy Temple, specifically. I like to think of the divine power that was in the Holy Temple as being something like nuclear power. It's a useful metaphor because in a nuclear power plant, there are a bunch of rules that you need to follow in order to avoid radioactive contamination, as well as to avoid contamination from the outside world entering into clean spaces in the power plant. In the temple, rules had to be followed to keep the holy separated from the ordinary. So you may or may not know the story of Nadav and Avihu. Their story comes in Parashat Vayikra in Leviticus chapter 10. Aaron's sons, Aaron was the high priest, the brother of Moses, and his sons, Nadav and Avihu, who are priests as well, took their fire pans, put incense on them, and offered a strange fire before the Lord. Then a fire came forth from the Lord and consumed them, and they were killed on the spot. The sages debated whether they were killed as punishment for not following the rules that they were given, or merely as a consequence of their actions. The sages actually say that perhaps the fire that they brought was so amazing that God sort of reacted without thinking, without capacity to stop before it happened, and just zoop, grabbed up what they had with divine fire, and they were killed by accident in the process. I actually prefer that interpretation, that it was a consequence, and my evidence comes from the text itself. If you go and read what follows, it seems that God is not happy about what happened. And from that point onward, when instructions are given regarding the sacrificial rites, they're followed by a command to do it exactly, precisely according to the words that had come before. And then it's followed by the words, so that you will not die. Furthermore, 6 chapters later, the instructions for Yom Kippur are given to us. An entire day full of ritual in order to help make us tahor, pure, for the service in the temple. Not just the priests, but the Mishkan itself, the traveling, in lieu of a temple, the tent that was the temple space at that time, um, but also the entire people of Israel, to clear them out of the inevitable uh, gunk, the inevitable residue of ordinary life that would stick to us just for being ordinary humans. When that line in our prayer says, purify us, is asking God to make us tahor, with hod, that is in gvura, among the nations. We are asking God to make us fit for purpose. We're asking that we as a nation should be shaped into a vessel fit to serve God in the holy temple once again. This isn't about being better than other nations. Remember, it's not good versus bad. It's about being set apart for a specific job among the nations, a job that requires humility as well as discipline. Jewish practice, the way that we walk in the world, the thing we call halacha, is the pathway of tahara, the pathway of purity or fitness for our purpose in our divine connection with God. Thank you for taking this time and studying with me. I look forward to reading what you've been thinking about these things, whether it's in the comments on the YouTube video or over on school. Thanks so much. I'll see you tomorrow.